organized by ObeFit, organized by Arabian Wellness Group, part of RAC Hospital. And we are here today to present the topic on burning your calories on this Friday. And let me take the privilege to introduce to today's speaker, Professor Adrian Kennedy. Professor Adrian Kennedy is a multifaceted person. In academics, he has degree in business law and a PhD in health studies from the USA. He was the founder director of Harvard Institute of Lifestyle Medicine and has been hailed by Harvard Medical School, USA, as a pioneer in lifestyle medicine. In his college years from 1965 to 73, he was the national champion of India in the 100 and 200 meters and an Asian champion in athletics. He was a member of the team that swam the English Channel from England to France, has trekked in Himalayas, and is a black belt karate instructor too. He was a member of the committee that organized the Asian and Commonwealth Games in India. In corporate life from 1973 till 1990, he was the Director Executive Health in Tata Steel, where he received the Government of India Award for Sports Management. As Managing Director of Apollo Life from 1990 to 2012, he pioneered the corporate health in India. As Chief Wellness Officer, RAC Hospital Groups from 2012 till date, he has received several awards, including Best Health Researcher in UAE, Best Wellness Company in GCC, etc. So we would now request Professor Kennedy to take over and talk about today's topic, that is burning your calories.
Thank you, Nithya. Thank you so much for that very, very kind introduction. I will now share my screen and put up my presentation. Thank you. Friends, good morning. And once again, thank you to Dr. Nithya for that very kind introduction. The picture on your screen represents the concept of burning calories beautifully. On the one hand, you have food, which is calories in, which gives you the energy for day-to-day function, which if not utilized, is converted into fat. And on the other side, you have exercise activity. And that exercise activity is what utilizes the excess body fat or the body's energy. So burning calories is simply a matter of food in on the one hand and activity out on the other hand. However, I plan, with your permission, to go beyond the concept of burning calories and talk about the larger concept of good health and well-being for individuals who are oversized. Friends, 6 simple rules will help us not only to remain healthy, but will also meet the objective of the webinar, which is to burn calories. And these 6 simple rules, which can be added on from time to time. For example, in 2021, a new rule was added to these existing rules. And that rule was the rule of good hygiene, which we will talk about during the course of our session today. The 6 rules as I am presenting them to you today are: 1, to have a medical checkup, and I will explain why. eat the right food in the right quantities, do some exercise, manage your stress. Now, the question to ask will be, what has stress got to do with obesity? Well, stress in many ways is a cause for obesity. Stress results in sleep disruption. Sleep disruption results in hormone disruption. Hormone disruption results in eating food all the time, binge eating. So they are all connected. And then we have smoking and alcohol. What makes smoking and alcohol different for obese individuals as compared to the normal individuals? And finally, safety at all times, every time. So we will be touching upon each of these rules as our session goes along. First, let's talk about the medical check. The WHO requires that all of us, all adults, should have an annual medical check, preferably if you have a comorbidity or if you are older, every year or every 6 months, but I will go with every year. And if you are younger, well, then maybe once in 2 years. However, our audience today is individuals who are overweight. And individuals who are overweight have a larger propensity to comorbidities. And these comorbidities include blood pressure, diabetes, hypercholesteremia, cardiac-related ailments, arthritis, so many other factors, skin ailments, depression, so many other factors that relate to overweight individuals. So it is essential that you have a medical check every year. When you have a medical check, you will know exactly where you stand, what your comorbid position is, and how to manage these ailments, because you will be prescribed some form of medication. And many forms of medication in themselves result in obesity. So it is important that you meet your physician once a year to manage your comorbidities, to manage obesity, and to correlate medication such that it works appropriately for you. Interestingly, I see that not only are we suggesting a medical check, but also a health check. A health check is basically identifying your risk factors for an ailment. So now, what would the risk factors for obesity be? Lack of exercise, excess calorie intake, and I notice genetics. Fortunately for us, probably our very next session will be a talk on genetics. Sometimes many of us are programmed to put on extra weight due to certain genetic predispositions. So these are factors that will be considered. And when you go for an annual medical check, your counselor will advise you on diet, will advise you on exercise, will advise you on sleep, will advise you on lifestyle, and several other factors. So rule number one for individuals who are overweight or obese, as a matter of fact, it is a common rule for all adults, is that you need to have a medical check. And the special propensity for overweight individuals having a medical check is that almost 50% of individuals who are overweight will at a certain time have some comorbidities which, as I mentioned, could include diabetes, hypertension, cardiac ailments, arthritis, skin ailments, anxiety, depression, so on and so forth. Rule number one, please have a medical check. Rule number two, for all individuals and our overweight colleagues. Food. Food could be one of the primary factors in putting on weight. Eating large amounts of food, eating the wrong types of food, eating food at the wrong time. And on certain occasions, this may not simply be an act that is within your control. It is perfectly possible that you are eating excess due to hormonic disturbances. However, your medical check will help you to identify the cause of your overeating and the cause of your putting on weight. And in an earlier session, we have had an extensive discussion, which we do every year, on a healthy diet, on a diet that is appropriate for individuals who are overweight, that will in turn help them to lose weight or to reduce weight or to put on less weight. So if I were to encapsulate one or two simple rules for individuals who are overweight, what would I advise? The little circle at the bottom has 3 good rules. The first rule is calories in and calories out. And here is the concept of burning calories. Calories in and calories out. What is a calorie? A calorie is a unit of energy that is given to you from food. Now, we all eat food on a day-to-day basis, usually in the region of 2,000 calories or 2,500 calories. And if we do not utilize all those calories, then the calories convert into fat, or the food converts into fat, and the ratio of measurement of calorie, food, and fat is, if you were to eat 500 calories extra in a day, or alternatively, if you were to have an excess calorie intake of 500 calories a day, in 7 days you would add 3,500 calories, which is 1 pound or 2 kgs a month. So calories in or food in means eating food in the right proportion to your requirement. Now, that would then mean that you would need to calculate calories. And I'm not keen for you to go through that exercise. So I will give you a simple rule. And that rule is simply this, that we normally have about 3 to 4 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, a tea time snack, and dinner, usually. Now, each of these meals, roughly speaking, would be in the region of 500 or 600 calories, 400 to 600 or 400 to 700 calories, whichever. But your 2 major meals usually are lunch, breakfast and lunch, or breakfast and dinner, or lunch and dinner. My rule is simply this, that if you were to spend 1 hour doing exercise, you would burn 500 calories. If you were to eat 1 meal, you would ingest 500 calories. So the in-out rule is simple enough, that if you eat your normal diet, you must exercise every day for at least an hour every day to burn 500 calories. If for any reason you do not do your exercise, then you should sacrifice one meal, which is or will be your dinner, because your dinner is the nighttime meal that is storage and converted into fat. So in out would mean to eat the right amount of food and to utilize it totally in the creation of energy. Understand this. Whatever you eat, 50% is utilized directly by the body. And in 2000 calories, that would be 1000 calories straight away will be used by the body for growth, repair of tissue, day-to-day functions. You are left with 1000 calories. This 1000 calories has to be utilized in some activity. Much of it will go in your day-to-day activities. Walking, working in the office, going shopping. All of these usually will consume about 500 to 600 calories a day. You are left with 500 calories extra, and this is usually the phenomena in the body. This 500 extra calories is converted to fat as an evolutionary safety system. But we already have excess fat. Therefore, we have to burn that fat by definitely doing exercise for 1 hour a day. That is the concept of burning calories in and out. Now let's talk about fat and fiber. You must avoid fat, sugar, and commercial foods. Well, fat and sugar for sure. Excess fat, sugar, salt. These are additives that will toxify your body. And what you should eat is exactly what you see in this picture here. Fruit and vegetable. Fruit and vegetable are micronutrients that have minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, and most of all, fiber. Fiber is that indigestible component of food which cleanses your digestive tract and keeps your gut microbiome healthy. And this gut microbiome in turn releases hormones which are essential for the digestion of food, for the balancing of hunger, and so on and so forth. So, rule number 2, you must have vegetable and fruit every day. Uncooked vegetable and fruit. If it is uncooked, it will have minerals, vitamins, and fiber. If it is cooked, it will have fiber, but the content of minerals and vitamins will be less because these are easily destroyed by heat. A fresh salad every day or a fruit is a gift that you can give yourself. The third rule, natural versus processed. Processed is hamburgers, Kentucky Fried Chicken, noodles from the takeaway, pasta from the takeaway, and several other foods that come commercially. Why are commercial foods bad? Commercial foods are bad because they contain high levels of sugar, salt, and fat. But that is not all. They also contain chemicals and additives which are poisonous to the system. If the number one cause of cancer in the world today is smoking, then your diet is the second largest cause of cancer. 30% of cancers globally are caused by commercial foods. So 3 simple rules for the management of your diet. 1, eat the right foods in the right quantities. If you do not exercise, please skip a meal and balance your calories. Rule number 2, please ensure that you have fruit and vegetable, uncooked fruit as in uncooked vegetable as in the form of a salad, and fruit on a day-to-day basis. This will give you your antioxidants, your flavonoids, your minerals, your vitamins, everything that you need to keep your body healthy. And it will give you fiber to keep your gut microbiome healthy. And rule number 3, eat foods that are natural as opposed to processed. So we avoid the commercial foods and we go for the natural foods. And the natural foods will also be unmilled and unprocessed. So you're talking about brown rice instead of white rice. You're talking you're talking about wheat instead of flour. You're talking about brown bread instead of white bread. You're talking about jaggery instead of sugar. Anything that is processed will convert almost directly into an empty calorie. It'll convert into substance that is of no particular value to you from a dietary perspective. Go for natural whole grain fruits and foods that come from within your region. There is no need, at any rate, within its limitations, eat food from your surrounding geography. When food comes in from different countries, remember that refrigeration and shelf life, all these things result in higher toxicity. Avoid commercial foods is your third rule. And keep in mind that in the concept of burning calories, calorie intake is food and calorie output is exercise. So we now come to our next rule of good health: exercise. Why is exercise necessary for an individual who is overweight? Well, a simple answer would be exercise burns calories and exercise helps you to lose weight. That is a simple, straightforward answer. But consider this: when you exercise, your heart rate increases, your respiration increases, your circulation increases, and these in return will remove breathing difficulties and asthma, blood pressure, blood sugar, reduce blood cholesterol, strengthen the heart, reduce your probability of cardiac ailment. When you exercise, you are carrying your body over a distance. You are utilizing your muscle. You are utilizing your bones and joints. And in utilizing your bones and joints, you can say goodbye to arthritis. You can say goodbye to spondylosis. You can say goodbye to osteoporosis. You can strengthen not only your muscle, but you can also strengthen your bones. When you exercise, you increase muscle mass and you reduce fat mass. And when you increase muscle mass, you improve your shape, you improve your strength, you improve your metabolism, which means that you automatically burn more energy even while you are sitting. A muscular person burns more energy at the same weight than an individual who is fat at that given weight. And exercise has many other benefits. When you exercise, You sleep better. Your stress is utilized. You have less depression. So exercise has a manifold of benefits. So the components of exercise, you've heard it before, but I will repeat it: stamina, strength, and flexibility. Now, stamina. When I was reading up a while back on exercise and obesity, I read the World Obesity Council's recommendation on exercise. 3 recommendations. Number 1, do not exercise without having a medical check. Rule number 1. Number 2, exercise should be low impact. Exercise should be low impact. Rule number 3, exercise should be started gradually and done in moderation. So you have 3 rules for exercise. Have a medical check before you start because it could impact your medication and other factors. Talk to your doctor. Start gradually, exercise in moderation. So now we have stamina, strength, and flexibility. Stamina, the best exercises that you can do for an overweight individual is walking, not jogging. And swimming is even better than walking. And cycling is good. Walking, swimming, and cycling are excellent exercises for individuals who are overweight. And if you're talking in terms of the time limits that have been set by the Obesity Medical Association, well, then you are looking at between 30 to 60 minutes a day, of which 50% of your time will be spent on cardiorespiratory movement, which is walking, swimming, or cycling. Cycling can also be exercycling, cycling within your home. It will improve your cardiorespiratory endurance. Walking is good. It is light and easy on the joints, but the best, without a doubt, is exercise in the swimming pool. Now, you don't need to know how to swim, but if you swim, so much the better. But if you don't know how to swim, by simply going into the pool and walking into the pool and doing your exercise movements is good enough. It will reduce the impact on your joints, which is one important aspect, and it will burn calories, which is the second important aspect. Burning calories. There is no better way to burn calories than by exercise. Half your exercise time, which will be every day, 6 days a week at least, you will exercise for about an hour a day, of which half the exercise time will be spent on walking, swimming, or cycling, any of them, or all of them on different days. Strength. You may wonder, what has strength got to do with obesity? The more muscle you have, the less fat you have. The more fat you have, the less muscle you have. This is a constant. So individuals who have a BMI of above 40, etc., will have low muscle mass and high body fat mass. Most obese individuals have excess body fat. You are meant to have 18 to 23% if you are a male, or 25 to 30% if you are a female. But individuals who are obese have almost double that quantity of fat. Therefore, you must do exercise to increase your muscle mass. You may do freehand exercises, sit up, push up, squat, of course, but there is nothing better than the gym. Trust me, friends, if our obese colleagues could go to the gym and spend half an hour in the gym every day, or 1 hour every alternate day, you will improve your shape, you will reduce your body fat, you will increase your metabolism. We've spoken about For the cardiorespiratory benefit, we've spoken about walking, swimming, cycling. For your strength aspect, freehand exercise is good, but I strongly recommend the gym. You can easily do it, and it will be of great advantage to you. 10 repetitions of exercise like the shoulder press or the bench press or the arm curl or the squat will be excellent for you. It will tone up your entire body. And third is stretching. Now, you can do joint mobility exercises, neck rotation, shoulder rotation, elbow rotation, finger movement, waist rotation, hip movement. You can do so many of those. But the best recommendation, surprisingly, the best recommendation by the American Council of Sports Medicine and the Obesity Medical Association is yoga. Now, why, I ask myself as an exercise practitioner, why yoga? I mean, Western exercise has the great benefit of movement and burning calories. Surely yoga is not, doesn't have so much exertion. The difference between yoga and Western exercise is yoga is internal. Western exercise is external. While Western exercise will concentrate on the joints and the muscle, yoga will concentrate on the endocrine system and the hormones. And these hormones regulate everything in the human body. It will regulate your appetite, it will regulate your rate of digestion, and so on and so forth. So therefore, yoga is my third recommendation. Walking, swimming, cycling, weight training, and yoga. These are the three types of exercises, not just me, but the Obesity Medical Council recommends. Frequency, how do you get fit? F for frequency, 6 days a week. I for intensity, moderate. I do not want you to be breathless. I want you to enjoy your exercise. If you do not enjoy your exercise, you are doing too much. Moderation. Frequency, intensity is moderation. Time, 30 to 60 minutes a day. 30 minutes 2 times a day or 60 minutes 1 time a day. The type of exercise would be either yoga or walking or swimming or weight training or whatever you require. Why would anyone talk about the mind when it comes to obesity? It is true that obese individuals or those of us who have excess body weight may have some aspects of unhappy body image discomfort, or we could have depression. But what does that do to us? When you have anxiety and depression, when you have stress, one of the outcomes of stress is to find a way to get comfort and relaxation. I am stressed. I want to be relaxed. Now, it is true that you can sleep and relax. It is true that you can meditate and relax. These are good ways to relax. But surprisingly, eating also gives you comfort. And here is the problem, that when you have stress, there is what is known as stress eating. There is what is known as comfort eating. You tend to eat more. You tend to eat more of sugar foods. You tend to eat more of carbohydrate foods. You tend to eat more fried and fatty foods. Anything that makes you happy, and you put on weight. So therefore, you must manage your stress if you're an obese individual. You must manage your stress. And stress can come from many ways. It can come from your personality. You could be ambitious. Or on the contrary, You could be a shy individual. You could be an individual who is lacking in confidence and self-esteem. So stress will come from different aspects of your personality. Stress can come from home. It can come from the work that you do. Stress can come from a bad routine. For example, I do not sleep 8 hours a day, or I work more than 8 hours a day, or I watch TV for more than 2 hours a day, or I'm sitting on my couch for 8 to 10 hours a day. Do you know that sitting is as bad as smoking? And this is medically corroborated. Sitting is as bad as smoking. So all of these can cause, and then of course, you have another cause of stress, which is a crisis. Your crisis could be health. The fact that you're obese and unable to lose weight is a personal crisis. Your stress could be financial, your stress could be emotional, your stress could be family related. You could have stress from so many different areas. What does this stress do? It causes complete hormonic turmoil within the body. And when it causes hormonic turmoil within the body, it results in maladjusted eating, amongst other things. Therefore, you have to learn to manage stress. How do you manage stress? Simple. Exercise reduces stress. The minute you exercise, at the end of exercise, you have burnt your stress and tension, and you are in a state of healthy relaxation. Or from a mental perspective, you could ensure that you sleep well. Meditation is a good form of relaxation. Social, having friends and relatives and outings, etc., is a good way to burn stress. So, how all can you manage stress? In how many ways? You can do your exercise, you can sleep well, you can manage your meditation, you can have friends and family that are loving and kind, and you can have a strong spiritual belief that there is a solution to all life's problems. So the correlation between stress and obesity is that stress, by and large, causes stress eating. You have to find a way to solve the stress to improve your eating plans. Sleep. Now, 40% of individuals who are overweight have sleep apnea. Sleep apnea will result in difficult sleep, or will result in sleep deprivation. And sleep deprivation will cause, again, complete hormonic disbalance. Not only that, you will be irritable, you will function far below par, you will have hypertension and diabetes and so many other problems relating to sleep, sleep deprivation, sleep apnea, etc. A little bit about sleep. Sleep is nature's doctor. When you sleep, your brain waves, which are beating at 50 cycles per second, which is my current brainwave activity rate, because I'm in a beta state, I'm talking, I'm thinking. When you go to sleep, you go into the delta theta state, in which your brain is functioning at 4 to 6 cycles per second. Your brain wave activity is low. Now look at the second point, endorphins. Endorphins are healing hormones. Now these healing hormones will reduce when you are stressed, will reduce when you are in activity, and a different type of hormone such as adrenaline will take over, which will enhance your physical function. But when you sleep, a completely different type of hormone takes over. So when your brain waves are low, your hormone infusion is high, and the body's complete healing process takes place. Whether you are in a deep sleep, non-dreaming state where the physical body will heal, or where you are in a dream state where the mind and the stresses will repair itself, or the mind will heal, all of it comes with good sleep. So, what are the factors that affect sleep? Watching TV at night, having stimulants before you go to sleep, having an angry discussion, and all these other things during uh, during your daytime activity. So, how do you manage sleep? I would give you three important factors. One, please ensure that your sleeping environment is comfortable. Your room should be reasonably dark. Your temperature should be comfortable at about 24 or 25 degrees. Your room should be reasonably soundproof. This will help you to sleep better. And if you have sleep apnea and things like that, please seek medical help. There is a nose clip that you can use that will help you to sleep better. And at any weight, if you lose weight through the other aspects of diet and exercise, your sleep apnea will evaporate. Sleep apnea is strongly related to obesity. The next rule, and probably the last, but perhaps there is one more rule of safety, but I'll quickly finish this. Individuals who are overweight have a higher impact, a higher risk when they smoke or if they were to consume alcohol or drugs. When you are overweight, the smoking residue of toxicity filters into your adipose fat tissue. Not only do you have the risk of cancer from the lung, but the probability of it spreading to all other parts of the body increases by the toxicity of the fat residue within the adipose tissue itself, or the toxic residue within the adipose tissue itself. As far as alcohol is concerned, alcohol has a higher impact on individuals of a lower weight than it would of individuals of a higher weight. Therefore, individuals who are slim will have a quick impact with just 1 or 2 units of alcohol, but this 1 or 2 units will have no effect whatsoever on individuals who are overweight, who will need 3, 4, and 5 units of alcohol to get the same effect or buzz of alcohol. So, the idea at any rate is to give up these two unfortunate habits. As far as smoking is concerned, the new medical therapy of NRT, nicotine replacement therapy, is what I recommend. I could have spoken to you about cutting down and slowing down and reducing your daily intake, but the effect of that is not quite as good as the NRT effect. Talk to your physician, talk to your pharmacist, get your nicotine replacement therapy in the form of gum or pads, which you will stick on the body. You will get the effect of smoking, but you will not have the cancer effect. It doesn't go into the lungs, which is what is most important. And it doesn't contain tar. It has a synthetic form of nicotine, which does not cause cancer. So nicotine replacement therapy. As far as alcohol is concerned, I mean, you have to reduce alcohol, and the only way you can reduce alcohol is by going through, well, you could try the social aspects of Alcohol's Anonymous. You could try and cut down, you could try and reduce to 1 or 2 pegs on alternate days, not drinking more than once a week, etc. But I would strongly recommend that you join your local Alcohol Anonymous chapter, or get your family to support you, and if necessary, go to your doctor for detox. And the last slide that I'm going to show you, friends, is safety. Safety at all times, every time. Young individuals do not die of old age, obviously. They die of accident. They die of accident. Safety at all times, every time, whether you are slim or whether you are overweight, safety at all times, every time. Automobiles, seat belt, helmets, speed limits. Fortunately, in the UAE, we are firm on these rules. The one rule we tend to neglect is the mobile. Please do not use your mobile while driving. This is fatal. The most accidents nowadays are not caused by alcohol, but by the mobile. As far as occupation is concerned, in the offices and at work, we are safe at all times. And recreation, remember I spoke to you about the rules of hygiene. Maintain safety distance, washing, bathing, clean environment. All these things are important. And at home, remember safety in terms of railings, safety in terms of non-slip rugs, because if you fall and break your bones, it could have awful consequences. And so we wrap up. I'm overshooting my time, and I will wrap up by simply saying, friends, 6 rules of good health. 2 of those rules burn calories. Rule number 1, have a medical check every year without fail, or whenever you require to see your physician. Rule number 2, manage your diet in the manner that I have spoken to you. Rule number 3, exercise on a day-to-day basis. Between 2 and 3, we will burn calories and manage your weight. Exercise. Rule number 4, manage your mind, manage your stress, manage your sleep. Relaxation is so important. Avoid alcohol and avoid smoking. Adhere to the rules of safety at all times. Friends, I have taken the liberty of expanding my talk from burning calories to also maintaining good health, and I thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you, Professor. Can I request Dr. Wilco to take questions for this session?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Nitya. Thank you, Professor Kennedy, for a wonderful session. As usual, expert speaks the words. True. Sir, we have received many queries, and the first query is from Harry. My BMI is 32. I do a busy desk job. I go to swimming once a day, once a week. Will it help to reduce my weight? This question popped up immediately after when you were talking about the swimming pool, whether you know swimming or don't know swimming. Going to a swimming pool, walk on the swimming pool, that will help. Immediately that question popped up.
Okay. You did mention Harry, am I right?
Yeah,
Okay, Harry. What you are doing is referred to as being a weekend warrior. Now, this is more dangerous than good. You have to exercise on a day-to-day basis. And the reason for that is swimming, by and large, activates the entire circulatory system. If you were to take a calorie utilization, when you walk, you burn 1 calorie per kg of body weight per hour. When you cycle, you burn 3 calories of energy per kg of body weight per hour. When you swim, you burn 6. Now, that would mean that if your BMI is 32, you would be overweight and you are burning a large amount of calories. But it would also mean that your heart is having to pump up in order to manage this circulation. So, my recommendation is very clear. Please avoid one day in the week exercise. It is not safe. The minimum exercise ratio should be at least 3 days in the week for an individual who wants to remain fit. But for an individual who wants to lose weight, you have to exercise every day at about 500 calories per hour, which would mean the exercises that you are doing in your pool, done moderately, done on a day-to-day basis is good. However, I do appreciate that you may have some difficulty in getting to a pool every day in case you don't already have a pool at home. In case that is the case, if that is the case, then perhaps exercise at home or a walk at home for the same duration of a half hour or 1 hour would be excellent. But one day in the week is not a good idea.
Prof, I will be taking another question out of the sequence because this question also connects what you said. Sarfraj has asked, you mentioned exercising 6 days a week. Just now you were mentioning focusing on that also. I'm working and I'm having very less time to spare. How frequent and how much time we should do for our effective weight loss?
If you were to go by the American Council of Sports Medicine or by the Obesity Medical Association, it is very clear. The numbers are given at between 30 to 60 minutes. 30 to 60 minutes a day is the minimum time that you can do. But I will try and help you out. Now, exercise need not only be programmed, it can be unprogrammed exercise activity. For example, let us assume that you are working on the 10th floor of your office. What I would do when I was much younger was that I would walk up 10 floors, which I can't do anymore. So I simply take a lift, go up to the 6th floor, and from the 6th floor to the 10th floor, I walk. Now, this takes me 5 to 7 minutes or more. It does a whole lot of exercise for me. I'm breathing heavy. My calves, my thigh, my respiration is all increased. That could help you. So day-to-day activities can easily form a part of your overall exercise activity. But the overall physical activity component that raises your heart rate must remain at between 30 to 60 minutes a day. Unfortunately, to lose weight, there is no lesser number. But to keep fit, I can give it to you in 5 minutes. But to lose weight, there is no lesser number. You have to burn those calories. And if you do exercise for 1 hour, it's 500 calories. Half an hour, it's 250 calories. You will lose 1 or 2 kgs every month for sure. But if you want to be fit, then 5 minutes of exercise is good enough. Dr. Wilco will show it to you, or Dr. Madhurima, or even I can easily show you these exercises and we'll help you. 30 minutes,
Yeah,
sir.
true.
That's as
True,
far as
true.
I
There
can.
is no.
That's the major concession I can make, 30 minutes.
Yeah, true. Very grateful for you to give a discount on the exercise. True, there is no cut. There is no shortcut. You have to do a specific job to get a result. Again, there is one more connected question. Like in the first instance, first slide, you were talking about the medical check before you go for an exercise, and especially if you have some comorbid conditions. Here is one question Param has asked. I suffer from osteoarthritis of my knees. What indoor exercises you suggest me for weight loss? You were talking about if to Harry that if you are not able to go every day for a swimming pool, do a cycling in at home. Param is also asking the same query. What indoor exercise you suggest for the weight loss? And Param is suffering from osteoarthritis of knees also.
Okay. It is not unusual. It is not unusual to have knee, ankle, and hip problems or even back problems with obesity. It is not unusual at all. And the problem is that while you want to recommend exercise, walking, jogging, or any of these exercises cannot be done because it increases the burden of weight on the knees or the ankle, as the case may be. And therefore, it is contraindicatory to the ailment. Even while exercise is good, in certain instances, certain exercises are inappropriate. So you have to do what is low impact activity. I'll give you 2 or 3 suggestions. Number one, I've already suggested swimming or walking or exercising in the pool. I've already suggested that. That has absolutely no impact on your knees, and you could very easily walk about in a pool, will have no impact on your weight. That is number one. Number two, if your doctor permits, you could try stationary cycling if your doctor permits. It will take the load off your body and off your knees, but it will allow you to move your knees appropriately. And when you cycle, the knee bend is never more than 30 to 40 degrees. So it will not hurt you, but you need to take your doctor's approval. The third one, and a very interesting solution, which is recommended by most authorities, and that is sitting exercise. You can do an entire exercise session while sitting. So you have your neck rotation, you have your shoulder rotation, elbow, wrist, fingers, waist. You even have, while you're sitting, just raise your legs. You can do all these movements while you are sitting in a chair. So 3 recommendations for you, sir. Number one, I retain swimming. Number two, I suggest exercycle if approved by your doctor. And number 3, I certainly recommend sitting exercise. It is easily available. Just click into any exercise channel, and you will have exercises while sitting. You can do any of these.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. There is another question from Param. My mother is diabetic. What are the lookouts she must do during the exercise?
If diabetes is the only problem, then I would suggest, and if she's on medication, then I would suggest that she takes her medication after the exercise. That is one. She must go into the exercise schedule with sufficient sugar in the bloodstream to give her comfort and not to get hypoglycemic. So medication should be taken after exercise and not before exercise. Yeah, that's one. Now, the other aspects, of course, the only aspect that I see is hypoglycemia. Dr. W, you may be able to answer this question better than me, but simply I would only see hypoglycemia as a problem. Normally, we would say that irrespective of the fact that you are on medication or not on medication, or irrespective of the fact that you are diabetic or non-diabetic, you must always have a cup of tea or a glass of fruit or any such thing before you exercise. Remember that your one fruit or your one cup of tea is going to be 75 to 80 calories, and that will help you through your exercise system. All I can say in this answer, and I'm sure it's incomplete, is medication after your exercise, and please have a cup of tea or a fruit before you exercise.
Prof, you have covered both the things, medication after your exercise and drinking or eating something sugary so that your energy is boosted up. because while you're doing the exercise, you are boosting your metabolism, burning out the calories. And same time, if you take medication after that, it will help out. And if you take a medication before that, it will make the problem more worse. It will be more injurious for your health. Uh, Thank you, Prof. Next question I will take from Akshit Kumar. You spoke about exercise components, stamina, strength, and flexibility you were talking about. How effective is the weight training program to lose weight? I think he's actually wondering about the gym exercise. Maybe he's planning to join a gym.
I will take that question to mean weight training in terms of not weight loss, but exercises in the gym. We usually refer to that as weight training.
Yeah.
Obviously, Akshay is a gym enthusiast because that is a technical term used by individuals who go to the gym. It's called weight
Hmm.
training. Weight training is excellent, Akshay. Weight training is excellent. It increases your muscle mass, it increases your metabolism, and therefore it helps you to lose weight. It is not the most efficient way of losing weight, but it is a good long-term remedy. I'll put it to you like this. There is no single way to lose weight. There is no single method. You have to combine all the three methods of stamina, strength, and flexibility in an exercise program. You have to. Now, if your objective is to lose weight, then you have to add to that dieting or the dietary intake aspect. So, from a large overall perspective, weight loss would result in managing your diet and doing exercise. Now, with an exercise, the ways to burn calories is definitely cardio. Cardio will burn the most calories at that point of time because of the hyperactivity. However, when it comes to weight training or when it comes to gym activity, the fact that it increases your muscle mass will increase your overall metabolism over a lengthy period of time throughout your life while you are being muscular. So I would recommend for you a solution would be definitely to do cardio 3 days a week, definitely to do mobility and gym 3 days a week. Either way, you divide it between these two, both are necessary. But to answer your question blandly, weight training is good for losing weight. I wouldn't say losing weight, losing fat. Now, here
Losing
is
fat.
where Dr. Wilku will understand what I'm saying. Losing fat, because when you do weight training, you put on muscle, and 1 pound of muscle and 1 pound of fat, while both these are the same, the volume of 1 pound of fat is much more than 1 pound of muscle. So you will put on weight, but you will lose inches, and that is very important. Please make sure that not only do you take your weight, but also take your measurement. You will greatly benefit by losing inches through weight training.
True. True. Thank you, Prof. Uh, I don't see any other question. What questions I received in my WhatsApp mostly are similar. So that has been covered by you and queries in the chat box also. From my side, thank you very much. Dr. Nitya, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vilku. Thank you for enlightening us with all the questions. And thank you, Professor, for your wonderful presentation, as always, and enlightening us about this wonderful topic of the weight loss journey. And we thank all the viewers today who have attended the webinar. And good luck to your weight loss journey. I hope you have inculcated the wonderful points given by Professor into your day-to-day life. Thank you, one and all, from behalf of Arabian Wellness. Thank you.